Hello everyone, it's Aunt Fernita. The title of today's story is Going Fishing. The memory verse is from Matthew chapter 4, verse 19. It says, "Come, follow me," Jesus said, "and I will make you fishers of men." The message is I follow Jesus and share him with others. Have you ever caught a fish? Or watched anyone fishing? A long time ago, men learned a new way to fish. The lake was rising over the hills east of Lake Gennesaret. Peter and his brother Andrew had fished all night without catching a thing. "Let's go," Peter said. They pulled up their nets and headed for the shore. As the people crowded closer and closer, Jesus stepped into Peter's boat and asked him to pull out into the water. He sat in the boat and continued to talk to the crowd of people on the shore. He told them that they could be in God's kingdom if they believed in him. When he finished speaking, Jesus turned to Peter and said, "Let's go out and catch some fish." Andrew was puzzled. The sun was high overhead. Nobody fished in the heat of the day. Why? Because the fish were far below the surface in the cool, deep waters of the lake. "We've worked all night without catching a thing," Peter said. "But because you say so, I will let down the nets." Peter and Andrew threw their big net far from the boat. It was suddenly full of fish. The net was so heavy with fish that the boat began to tip over. "Help us!" Peter cried to James and John in their nearby boat. "We're sinking!" James and John hurried to help them. Hauling that heavy net was hard work. James and John took part of the fish into their own boat. Both boats were so full that they barely made it back to shore without sinking. "If you follow me," Jesus said, "you will fish for men." Jesus meant that they would tell people about him. The 4 fishermen looked at their boats. They had never before caught so many fish at one time. Truly, this was a miracle, and the man who had made it happen wanted them to follow him. Peter remembered the people who had followed Jesus to the lakeshore. He thought of his nets, so full that his boat had almost sunk. He probably thought of all the money he could earn. But he decided to follow Jesus. So did Andrew, James, and John. They walked away from the biggest catch they had ever seen. They left everything behind and put Jesus first in their lives. As long as they lived, they told many people about him. We too can follow Jesus when we put him first and tell others about him. He will lead us to those who need to know about him, and he will help us to be fishers of men.
This podcast is read by Fernita Buddy for Gracelink.net, created and produced by Falvo Fowler, post-produced by Faith Toe at Studio El Piso. The theme music is by Clayton Kinney. Animation and artwork by Giogo Godoy. The audio engineer was Karel Holness. For more information, please visit Gracelink.net.